Lost Ruins is a gorgeous action platformer with metroidvania elements that really captivates you with its charm and its interesting game design. You play as a young girl who doesn't even remember her name, so the game just calls you heroine. Really subtle, I know, but you wake up in this strange castle and while you are trying to get your memory back, you come across many enemies and some interesting boss fights. The story isn't that complicated, it's rather simple, but I didn't really mind. What really surprised me was the metroidvania tag in the Steam description. Yes, it has for sure a lot of metroidvania elements, but I can't call it a full-fledged metroidvania. Because you do not gain any new movement-based abilities. Instead, you gain keys that open doors you couldn't open before. Or you gain a few new weapons or spells that will make your adventure a bit easier. It's more like a survival action platformer with a metroidvania map system, and I thought it was an interesting design choice. It's really combat based, but the combat is really limited and also really slow. You can't move while you attack, and most attacks feel pretty heavy. But the reason why I enjoyed this game so much is because you have so many possible builds to choose from, or so many different combat strategies to try out. Sure, you could go for a straight up brawly kind of build, but good luck with that. Enemies and especially bosses can hit hard, so coming up with a nice strategy for each zone and boss fight is the best advice I can give you. Each enemy has its weaknesses, but they are also immune to specific spells or effects. So you really can't brute force your way through this game. It's really fun to see that specific weapon and spell combinations are really overpowered against some bosses. It makes you think about the best suitable build, and I really enjoyed that. I eventually went for a stealth-based build with a lot of mana and health regen items, and an invisibility spell that, combined with items that increased my critical damage with knives, did a lot of damage to unaware enemies, and this made many of the bosses a lot easier. But there are so many more possible builds to try out. So yeah, it's not the easiest game. But if you take your time to come up with a great strategy for each area, you are going to really enjoy this game. I would have loved some really cool level design and some awesome new movement-based abilities, but I also appreciate this kind of approach. It's definitely really interesting, and something new that I didn't expect when I bought this game. I also really like the overall presentation. The art style is very cool and pretty, the environments are really atmospheric and filled with details. Some areas have pretty great songs. The boss fights all feel unique, even though they all have a very interesting and similar design. And the level design, while not great, had some fun little puzzles, and they were a nice change of pace. There's also a lot of exploring to do, and a decent amount of optional side quests for you to complete. So in general, Lost Ruins is not your run-of-the-mill Metroidvania. In fact, I wouldn't even classify it as a Metroidvania, but more like a survival action platformer with Metroidvania elements that really makes you experiment with the best possible builds. It takes a while to get used to, but when you have played it for a while, you are going to appreciate this design choice, and you will have a fun time, hopefully. If you are looking for your typical Metroidvania with charming graphics, maybe this isn't the game for you. But if you don't mind this kind of gameplay that is being shown in this video, then I highly recommend Lost Runes. Experimenting with all these different weapons, spells and items is a lot of fun, and combined with the overall presentation, it really becomes another underrated gem in my opinion. So be ready for an adventure that, despite its rather deceiving Metroidvania tech, still manages to captivate you with its interesting design choice and its atmospheric setting.